Shalom. First, I'll start off by going over and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to teachers, elders, and apostles of great millstone, likewise brothers, but not the truth. Faithfully, fearlessly feeding the sheep and do brothers and sisters. And again, Shalom. Today's lesson's title: Ignoring the Messengers Changes Nothing. Now, people basically have their head up their ass, or their head in the sand, trying to ignore, the message that's being put out there by the prophets. Such a civil unrest that's coming. You have a wicked regime that's in place right now. You have disease, pestilence, wars, and economic collapse, all happening at the same time. And then we're going to move into the MOTB, which is the mark of the beast, which is going to be a great test on this entire earth, specifically here in Great Babylon, America. And last but not least, you have the great destruction of America. The Mashiach returns in great power and glory and save his elect. But let's go into the scriptures here. This is the book of Ezekiel 33, start verse 7. It says, "So thou, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore thou shalt hear the word at my mouth and warn them from me. When I say unto the wicked, O wicked man, thou shalt surely die, if thou dost not speak to warn the wicked from his way. That wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. Nevertheless, if thou warn the wicked of his way, to turn from it, if he do not turn from his way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul." So our job is plain and simple: do the work. We only can make the videos. We try to make them as interesting as possible. You put pictures, video clips, you do whatever it takes to try to get Jake's attention, and that's the best that we can do. But if you want to ignore it because it's not entertaining enough for you, you don't have a lot of drama in the videos, or debates, street debates like you all like to be entertained by, or whatever else that you all want to hear that's going to make you feel like you're hearing something that's going to benefit you, then that's up to you. Nonetheless, we deliver our soul. Our job is done. And if you don't hearken to the words, you will die in all your foolishness, and traps are being laid constantly for the children of Israel here in Great Babylon, America. And a lot of you people just simply don't see it because you have your head in the ground, You don't want to hear the words of the wise. You rather hear the words of the foolish, Let's go to Isaiah 30 and start verse 8. It reads, "Now go write it before them in a table and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come forever and ever. That this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, which says to the seer, See not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceit," which is why y'all like IUIC, ISUPK, and the now defunct Sakari group, Christianity Church, and just about anything out there. You have niggas sitting on YouTube, just talking out of their ass and get hundreds of thousands of views. But when we come out and we speak, something that's going to save your life, or a certain part in life that you need to follow, we barely get views. At best, the top guys, they get like a couple thousand views or whatever the case is like that. But it's completely ignored, because y'all like lies, y'all like foolishness. Y'all want to hear about how you can make the next couple dollars, being an ignorant nigga. No skills, no nothing, but how could you become the next millionaire? Always daydreaming. And that's you Jakes out there, man. When I say Jakes, I'm talking about so-called blacks, Native Americans, Latinos, and Hispanics. You're all alike, and that's why you cleave on to Esau so much, because Esau makes promises but no delivery. The only thing this so-called white man has delivered to you is death. In fact, let's continue on here. It says, "Get you out the way, turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. Wherefore thus said the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise this word, and trust in oppression and perverseness, and stay thereon. Therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant." So that perversion is the ways of Great Babylon, America. You people like to be in a constant happy-go-lucky spirit. Let's keep the next party this weekend, celebrating this, celebrating that. I watched this weekend gone by, several parties around where I live, people celebrating graduation. Well, you graduated from school, but you're not going to get a job. There's no job waiting for you. Okay. So, I mean, basically, you know, you people marching, grabbing your diplomas to do what? Okay, you're going to be using that diploma to probably make fire in the near future, and electricity is cut off, and your ass is getting cold. But this is what our people have: is this sense of hope here in Great Babylon, America. If the history of how our people, so-called blacks and Americans, Latinos and Hispanics, have suffered in this country hasn't taught you anything, then you will never learn anything. You will only learn it through death and sorrows and pain and suffering that the Lord Yahweh Shemashah is going to bring upon this place. In fact, at the end of the day, when we go into Proverbs 1 and starting with verse 24, it reads, "Because I have called and ye refuse, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded." We put out the lesson. We go and stand on the highway and the byway, rain, snow, sunshine. Okay, we do whatever it takes. "But ye have said at naught all my counsel, and with none of my reproof. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh." See, we're going to laugh. We're not going to pray for you. And the Lord Yahweh Shemashah already told us not to send up any prayer. In fact, we're going to send curses. And we have forewarned all you niggas out there. If you step across the line at the prophets, and I can speak for myself personally, Esau is not the only sword man you have to worry about, okay? Okay, so just let that sit in your head for a second here. If you niggas think you're going to just come around, okay, and force your way into our blessing, which is going to be that protection the Lord Yahweh Shemashah is going to provide for us, okay, we're going to laugh at you. We don't give a fuck if you're a damn child. We don't give a fuck if you're a baby. We don't care if you're a damn old woman, an old man. We don't give a crap if you're our damn wife, if you're a friggin' doggone piece of shit, okay? You're going to suffer out there. We're going to laugh at you, and you're forgotten. Okay, continue. It says, "When your fear coming as desolation, your destruction coming as a whirlwind, when the stress and anguish coming upon you, because you're going to be hungry."
Half of America can't pay their bills anymore. Not people who gave up. Not people who made bad choices. People with jobs, paychecks, alarm clocks. And on a single night in 2024, 771,000 of them were counted sleeping outside. The highest number ever recorded in American history. Most of them were employed. Here's the part nobody's talking about. That number is only the ones they could see. Millions more are surviving in ways that don't show up in any official count. And the distance between their situation and yours is probably smaller than you think. This video is about how that happened, and about the one thing people found at the bottom that nobody prepared them for. Let's start with the number most people aren't ready for. 771,000 Americans were counted sleeping outside on a single night in January 2024. That's the official federal count, the highest in recorded American history, up 18% from the year before, up 32% from 2022, 32% in 2 years. Now here's the part that changes everything about how you see that number. These are not the people you've been taught to picture. CNN published a major investigation in early 2026 and named it exactly what it is: a shadow realm. Not a shelter, not an encampment, a shadow. The people inside it go to work every day. They clock in, do their shift, clock out, and then they go sleep in a storage unit, a car, a motel room, because the paycheck they just earned isn't enough to cover a stable place to live.
Because you're going to be hungry, you can be chased, getting chased, you women can be chased by doggone rapists, okay? You man, you can be chased by rapists too, okay? You know, a lot of body boys around here. You're gonna be hungry. You're gonna have the animals. They're gonna come out of their place to eat you, okay? And most of these people live very filthy, so you're gonna have creatures like snakes and things that are attracted to garbage just gonna be coming in your house, biting you at nighttime. Disease is going to be rampant. Okay, I mean, forget about STDs. That's going to be the least of your worry. It's going to be all the other things that's going to be released out there. Okay, and you have the so-called white man. I mean, they're sitting down, they're seating, they're waiting for an opportunity, waiting for no electricity, no running water. They're waiting until the cops are occupied with bullshit, so that they can really step out and do what they really want to do, which is to hang you doggone niggas and spicks from trees. Okay, when I talk about that, I'm talking about so-called blacks, Native Americans, Latinos, and Hispanics, men, women, and children. Be prepared to see a whole lot of doggone little nigglets being hung from trees. And yeah, my language might sound rough to you, but hey, that's the way That's the everyday language y'all used to, okay? And we're telling it to you exactly the way it is. All right, it says, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. Y'all gonna be looking for us. Like, where's that nigga that was out in the street out there on Zaragoza? Where's that dude, man? Where are those dudes on the street in all these different states? Y'all gonna be looking around at that. Oh, we're not gonna be nowhere to be found. Okay? The job is done, the elect has been sealed. Y'all on your own, okay? It says, for they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai. Okay, y'all want to, America can be very boring when you are not, engaged in it fully, in wickedness. It can be extremely boring, okay? And what we doing might seem to be very boring to y'all. Y'all just read from the Bible, y'all don't have fun. Yeah, well, we're gonna have fun in the kingdom, okay? But we're gonna have fun watching y'all ass suffer in the meantime on this side when the work is done. When we go into Revelation 3 and 10, this is very critical, Jake, okay? Because the Lord is setting up, basically, either side is going to be like a fire, like you stepping off the edge, okay, on a little thin walkway, like how do you call those gymnastic people when they're on those that wooden plank walk? If you fall off on the left, you burn up. You fall off on the right, you burn up. When you look at what is going to take place with this mark of the beast, pursuant to Revelation 13, Psalm verse 16, okay, the only way around it is really death, okay, for a lot of people, right? It reads, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, this is Revelation 3 and 10, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth, the entire earth. Okay, none of these nations are safe, because you got some people, they think, they come from a safe nation, or they come from this place and there's hardly any crime and all that stuff. That's all about the doggone change. The Lord has no respect for all the rest of you doggone tribes on this earth. Whether you are an homogenous tribe that everybody get along or pretend like they're getting along, the Lord is going to bring this doggone judgment, and you are going to have to make that determination as to whether you are going to worship the beast system pursuant to Revelation 14 and start verse 9 to 11. Okay, it tells you the penalty that if any man worship the beast or its image, or take the mark in their forearm, in their palm, or in their forehead, okay, what is going to happen to them, okay? And later on it goes into, that sickness that falls on everybody that took it, all right? So, Jake, you have, if you're not part of the elect to be protected during that time, okay, the decision is going to be either you take it and you die later, or you just die a slow death, or you could be part of the elect that goes through the process like that. There's going to be people who's going to make it through, and of course we know people are going to fight against it, not because they're holy, okay, or they have any type of loyalty to Yahweh Shai. It's just simply the fact is that people are going to resist against it, which is going to create chaos for everybody that decide that they want to take it, get their food and get their ration and all the other stuff of that. It's not going to end. It's not going to be a very smooth, okay, integration, okay? It's not going to work out for you passive aggressive weak people out there who think, well, I don't care, I'm going to take it, I took the COVID and all that. No, it's not going to work that way. You're going to take it, you're going to get your shit, and somebody else there who didn't take it is going to take your shit from you. All right, let's close with the book of Wisdom of Solomon, because at the end of the day, okay, you people, although you might look at us as just nobodies and stuff like that, and especially if you're a so-called Negro, we got it. We ain't shit in the eyes of any fucking body, okay, including people that know us. Okay, they look down on you. They just don't say it, but because people are passive aggressive. But we already know you don't think nothing of us, and that's okay. Because at the end of the day, okay, we're gonna get a prophet's reward, and here's that reward. It says, and then shall a righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such have afflicted him and made no account of his labor. So we cast the white man out. We have the posters of the white man. Their deity or Jesus, horns sticking out of his head. We don't give a crap. We don't show no fear. We don't give a shit. Like I let in my household know. Bottom line is, if you are attached to me, you're a target also too. So don't think for 1 second that they're only gonna come here and grab my ass and drag me the fuck out there and beat the shit out of me. No, they can grab your ass and beat the shit out of you too. So know what the hell you're involved with. All right, and this is how it is when you're dealing with the prophets. If you're involved with us, your life is in danger. Just so you know. It says, when they see it, they should be troubled with fear, terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for, because we're going to get beamed up in what the world call UFOs. At the same time, Great Babylon America is being obliterated. They, repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit, shall say within themselves, this was he, who we sometimes had in derision and proverbs of reproach, calling us broke-ass niggas on the street, uneducated, stupid, whatever, illiterate. That's okay. That's okay. We understand the scriptures, though. It says, we fools accounted his life madness and his end to be without honor, saying, why are you niggas wasting your time? Stop wasting your damn time. Jesus is white. God is white. What do y'all mean a white man he's going to be a slave in the kingdom, in the kingdom to come? They can't even begin to even comprehend. Because the Lord doesn't want you to comprehend. He wants you to have a nigga mindset. All right? It says, how is he numbered among the children of power, and his lot is among the saints? Okay? Yeah. So Lord willing, the elect was edified. This has been ignoring the messengers changes nothing. Shalom.